Dr. Ananina George, our senior faculty, Professor Elizabeth Hangsing, dear faculty members, students, research scholars, and all of you. So the last session of today's lecture, this is 3 days lecture series on Gandhian thoughts on education, policy and practice. The third session, the last session is on Gandhian education and in the light of science education. Generally, we think that Gandhi have promoted this charkha and takli, or the spinning and weaving only. But Gandhi's idea is also to promote science. So today's speaker will explain how Gandhian institution or basic education is very much connected to promoting science and scientific attitude among the pupil and citizens. So our today's speaker is Dr. Ananina George. She is Associate Professor at Dada Vaidya College of Education, Ponda, Goa. She has been working for 26 years. She has been born and brought up and educated in Baroda, Gujarat, from school to university. She holds a PhD in mathematics education. She was awarded 2 gold medals from MS Baroda University for ML. Her area of specialization are student-oriented innovative teaching method of science and mathematics, environmental education, use of integration of ICT, especially computer and internet in teaching science and mathematics, educational psychology, classroom management. She has completed several projects, UGC sponsored projects, and she have also various achievements, like she has delivered lectures at various platforms. She has recognized guide for PhD by Goa University. She has also written various papers, especially in science and mathematics teaching. So now we invite Madam for delivering your lecture or your explanation about how Gandhian education is connected to science, scientific attitude and science-based education process. So now it is over to Madam Ananina George. Madam, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening to all. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver a talk on the 150th birth anniversary of Rashtrapita Mahatma Gandhi, organized by the Department of Education, Rajiv Gandhi University, Doimuk, Arunachal Pradesh, in the lecture series on Gandhian thought on educational policies and practice. Good evening to all the participants, esteemed speakers on this lecture series from different parts of India. It is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to share the platform with such esteemed speakers from different states of India. A special thanks to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences and innovations in science education. Before I begin elaborating on my topic, implementing Gandhian ideology in science popularizing program in Goa, siphon, yes, having fun while learning science. I would like to render a few lines of Vaishnava Janato, a famous favorite bhajan of Gandhiji, written by the 15th century revered poet of my state of Gujarat, Narsim Mehta. Vaishnava Janato tene kaiye पीड़ पराई जाने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कही पीड़ पराई जाने रे, पर दुखी उपकार करे तो मन अभिमान ना माने रे, वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए. I profusely thank the chairman of Goa Vidya Prasarak Mandal, Mr. Bhaskar Khandeparkar, Principal Dr. Ellen Ebrio, and the Department of Science, Technology and Environment of Goa for giving me the opportunity to do siphon program. Let me place on record my sincere thanks as the coordinator of the siphon program to the driving force and inspiration behind the program, Mr. Arvind Gupta. Mr. Arvind Gupta, Padma Shri, the civilian award winner, the Indian toy inventor, the person who brought forth the idea of fun and play in learning science, who gave us his ideas and suggestions at the inception of the program. Gandhian in his outlook, Arvind Gupta participated in the Hoshangabad Science Teaching Program in Madhya Pradesh in 1978. While he was there, he developed his idea of creating simple toys and educational experiments using locally available materials as well as items usually thrown as trash. These simple toys he found fascinated children, and Arvindji went on to make these as the hallmark of his movement of popularizing science. The possibilities of using ordinary things for doing science and recycling modern junk into joyous products appealed immensely to children. Arvindji, the author of 15 books and 16 prestigious awards, remains as our source of humility and service. Siphon is the science popularizing program started at GVM's Dr. Dada Vaidya College of Education in September 2011. It began with a simple inauguration in a small rural school in a quaint village about 5 kilometers from the college. You can see the headmistress of the school, the secretary of GVM, our Mandal, senior teacher of the school, all present at the first visit of the siphon program in September 2011. The main purpose of the siphon program being to create love for learning of science, to awaken the innate curiosity, enhance scientific temper among school children, especially in remote rural areas of Goa, through hands-on experience of learning science. The core emphasis of the siphon program is the use of handmade science apparatuses out of low-cost waste materials to demonstrate various science concepts. These science apparatuses have been present and given name by Arvind Gupta as SciToys. Another core emphasis of the siphon program is to give all school children ample hands-on experience of handling the apparatuses and discover the concepts rather than being passive spectators. The three pillars of Gandhiji's pedagogy were its focus on the lifelong character of education, its social character, and its form as a holistic process. By education, I mean an all-round drawing out of the best in child and man, body, mind, and spirit. Literacy is not the end of education, nor even the beginning. These were the very words of Gandhiji. The main tenets of basic education incorporated in the siphon program are child-centered education, craft-centered education, education for all-round development, correlated teaching, service and development of social awareness. According to Gandhiji, he wanted to employ basic craft as the medium of teaching. All knowledge should be correlated with craft, and all educational activities should therefore be integrated and correlated with craft, social environment, and physical environment. Craft is to be the center of education. Gandhiji believed that the highest development of mind and soul was possible only through handicraft. The education of the child should begin with a useful and productive craft. Craft should form the nucleus of all instruction. But handicraft should not be taught mechanically, but scientifically. The craft should aim at developing the intellect of the pupils. By teaching craft, Gandhiji's object was not to produce craftsmen, but he wanted to exploit the craft for educative purposes. The teaching of all subjects, Gandhiji said, should be inspired by craft. The whole process of education should be imparted through it. The brain must be educated through the hand. Another important aspect of educational philosophy of Gandhiji is service and development of social awareness. Service includes love for the motherland. The end of all education should surely be service, said Gandhiji. Social awareness and responsibility can be developed through the involvement of students in programs of community service. He wanted that all instruction should be carried through concrete life situation and in relation to a productive and useful craft. His craft-centered education is an ample testimony that Gandhiji was a pragmatist. In the opinion of Dr. M.S. Patel, Gandhiji's philosophy of education is naturalistic in its setting, idealistic in its aims, and pragmatic in its method and program. The methods of teaching were mostly activity-centered and dynamic in nature. Mahatma Gandhi took craft as a means of production and a source of recreation as well as character building. He emphasized the principle of cooperative activity, planning, accuracy, initiative, and individual responsibility in learning. The idea of correlating school subjects to a central activity is of course not new or original. Herbert, Kilpatrick, and Dewey, and many other influential educators have consistently emphasized the need for correlation in school studies with the object of creating unity and consistency in the child's mental life. As Zakir Hussain committee puts it, psychologically, it is desirable because it relieves the child from the tyranny of a purely academic and theoretical instruction against which its active nature is always making a healthy protest. The child acquires not the superficial literacy which implies, often without warrant, a capacity to read the printed page, but the far more important capacity of using the hand and intelligence for some constructive purpose. B.Ed students with science post-graduation are selected for the siphon program, which is not a part of the prescribed curriculum. Rather, it is an outreach program of the college. The B.Ed students from other subjects are also included in the siphon program for comparing and dramatization. It begins with a highly planned and rigorous training of the B.Ed science students on making and demonstrating science concepts, organizing, and presentation skills. The entire team is divided into smaller teams with varied responsibilities: material management, time management, comparing, classroom demonstration, common demonstration, technology group, photography and videography group. The training and planning is done in advance as per the school visit date. In this program, the science students are given orientation about the purpose of the program. The past siphon students take the lead to orient and inspire the new batch of siphon. The trainees are asked to choose any concept they would like to demonstrate in the siphon program in different schools. They choose generally from the Arvind Gupta site of www.arvindguptatoys to learn making of science apparatus from low cost or waste materials like old slippers, old CDs, used PET bottles, plastic cups, plastic straw, balloons, cardboards. Once they select the concept, they have to make the SciToy by following the video on the site. They have to give the precise explanation of the concept using the demonstration. This process takes about 15 days. When all the students are ready with the concepts and demonstrations, Saturday training programs are slotted because the college doesn't function on Saturdays. The training programs are very challenging for the science students because they have to keep in mind that the school children should have fun while learning. They should be organized into groups during the demonstration. All the explanations should be simple and accompanied with visuals. That becomes quite a Herculean task as compared to the usual regular classroom teaching. The B.Ed students go through series of stringent rehearsals of presenting the concepts, comparing and presenting slideshows before going to the school. This ensures flawless presentation in the school under any adverse situation in the school. The training program takes into consideration child-centered education and education for all-round development in all aspects. In the picture, you can see a few glimpses of the training program, which entails a lot of correction and explanation of concepts. The B.Ed students marvel at their own abilities that they discover during these sessions. They realize their deficiencies in their subject knowledge. They also start to explore and love their own subject for the first time. Gandhiji said, "What we need is educationalists with originality, fired with true zeal, who will think about from day to day what they are going to teach their pupils. The teacher cannot get this knowledge through musty volumes. He has to use his own faculties of observation and thinking and impart his knowledge to the children through his lips with the help of a craft." This statement of Gandhiji encapsulates all that is done in siphon. Here you can see the kind of materials used for making the SciToys. They are low cost and waste materials. More of these I will show later in the presentation. Gandhiji's method of teaching had some peculiar features. He did not like the traditional passive verbal methods of teaching. He introduced craft as the center of teaching learning process and laid stress on close relation between the teacher and the taught. According to Gandhiji, a teacher who establishes rapport with the taught and becomes one with them learns more from them than he teaches them. You can see in the picture the bags which are labeled. These are kept almost ready 2 days before the visit. They are labeled with the name of the B.Ed student and the standard or grade to which they would go. It's a huge task done by the material group. It instills the principle of organized systematic work. In this picture, you can see the last minute discussions. Just the students are ready at the entrance of the college, waiting for the bus on the Saturday morning. Armed and set to go. Here you can see they are moving towards the vehicle that is waiting for them. And you can see they are all loaded with materials. Bags are there in their hands. Some of them are having charts. They are smiling. It's early in the morning. We are ready to leave. Here you can see the siphon program group, the team has reached the school. You can see them. We have reached the school and now armed with bags, boxes, banners to present an exciting session of siphon. Here you can see the warm reception, really beautiful reception we get when we go to all the schools, particularly in the remote schools, even though they don't have all the facilities, but they have got such warm hearts and they accept us and they are very sad, in fact, when we leave. There are two types of sessions in siphon program. The classroom sessions are designed to give the students learning in group experience and to handle the sci toys and discover the concepts. A team of 2 science students would go in each class for 35 minutes period presenting 2 concepts simultaneously. In the auditorium session, which happens after the classroom session, is designed to show chemistry demonstrations which can be hazardous to be done in the classroom. Here you see the students getting hands-on experience of classroom activities and auditorium common demonstrations. You can see students performing. Also, you can see sci toys of waste materials. Here you can see that the sci toys are made up of thrown away uh, plastic cups, thrown away straws. You can see some thrown away syringes also. You can see books and balloons. You can see these are all very, very low cost or waste materials. In this, you can see school children getting ample hands-on experience. You can see the joy on the face of the children. You can see that they are allowed to be in a group and do the activity. It is not that they have to listen to the teacher only. They are in a group. You can see that. And we try to impart this type of science teaching so that they enjoy and they have questions in their mind rather than just listening to the explanation by the teacher. Here, I would like to, I don't know, Vivek, Vivek, are you there?
Yes,
Hello?
madam. Yes, madam.
Here now what happens, I want to show the actual material. So I want to, मतलब ये PowerPoint बंद करके मेरे को थोड़ा ये material दिखाना है direct.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
इसको स्क्रीन पे
तो
ठीक है मैडम.
क्या stop sharing करूं?
जी जी.
Shall I do stop sharing?
मैम stop sharing में करके.
नहीं you should not stop.
No need to stop sharing. Just you put camera on that. You focus camera on that, ma'am.
हाँ,
Yeah.
okay.
Now you can focus camera on that.
हाँ, अभी आप बताइए हम. Can you see?
Yeah.
Now you see that she's using a pipe and a bottle brush. Can you see?
The lower portion is not visible. Yeah.
Now can you see? We are trying to adjust. Please tell whether you can see. Can
Yeah.
you
Now it is visible. Not now.
Pardon?
Now it is visible, madam.
Now you can see.
Yeah.
Now here you can see these are the throwaway materials we use for showing science different.
Lower down
Okay.
the screen so that we can see the lower portion of the object being displayed. Please lower down. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, please lower down the screen so that camera could see the lower portion. Yeah. A bit more lower.
Now you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah, it will catch.
It will catch.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, it's good.
Now you can see.
Yes.
इसके अंदर में we have put balloons. Okay. Now here you can see that one you can see that there is a hole in the bottle. Another one doesn't. The principle of using this, and you can see all materials that we are using is throwaway materials. Next. Can you see? Can you see the chappal? It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
chappal. And
yeah.
it's a very famous thing of Arvindji. You can see the concave lens and the concave mirror and the convex mirror. Can you see that? Okay. So, and this is the plane mirror. So, see, you can see the simplicity of the material that we are using in order to teach these topics. All our material. I'm just showing you a simple sample. Here we have a setup of, we have, about maglev. We all know about magnetic levitation. Now, magnetic levitation is used for the trains that are running in Japan, the superfast trains. But here you see, they are called maglev trains. My student is showing, this simple thing can show the levitation of the principle of maglev using such simple things. So what we are doing is we are showing big top concepts using extremely simple material. Now I would like to show the charts so that I can finish with it, and then now these are the charts. Can you see them? Can
Yeah.
you see the charts? Huh. So you will see that.
Only half portion we are able to see.
Yeah.
Only
Now you
half.
can see. Now you
No.
can see.
Yeah. Now we are. It is good.
Now you can see.
Yeah.
Full you can see. Can you see full?
Yeah. We can see.
First, now you can see that I train my students to make charts so that you will see that there is very less words used in this. Okay, and it is not just one chart. I try to show them the entire process in the chart so that it helps the teacher to explain. Now, if there was a one chart or only one thing, how will the teacher explain? So what I tell the students is break down the explanation into stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. So that when the teacher explains it to the students later, she doesn't have to struggle with the help of, and there are no words, hardly any words. So what happens is, one more picture. And then at the end, we always put application. Any concept we try to show, we show application. One more I will show, and then I will go back to mine. But see, here again, the bottle and there is a mesh. That's a demonstration that we do, wherein because of the mesh, the water doesn't come out. So this is the first stage, how it looks like. This is the second stage, how it looks like. It's inverted. Okay, so actually the teacher has done the demonstration, but now what happens is now the teacher wants to explain. So how will the teacher explain? Because the demonstration and explanation becomes difficult. So after the demonstration is over, teacher uses explanation which is very much aligned to the demonstration. So it becomes very clear for the student to understand and for the teacher to explain. So, and there are very less words because we don't want language to come in the way of science learning, because most of the time students, they say the language of science is confusing. So I have tried to reduce the language and learn the concept from perception. Now you see here we are showing that whatever we are learning, most important is we teach them up to here. We stop that water flows out through the mesh and we tell them the concept. But where in daily life do you see that? We can see that the insects, they walk on water. We can see water splashing out of the umbrella. Now these are the principles. These are the principles where we actually find the science concepts. So our science siphon program generally does is we not only show them all this, but we always relate it to real life example. Yes. Now, yes, now you can see, now in that actual materials that I showed you, I have shown all the things that in a nutshell I have shown you. Now I will take you back to the school where we had started the journey over there. Now let me show you the picture that you are seeing is the preparation done in the school auditorium or any hall, because every school, they have got different facilities. Any hall provided by the school to perform the common demonstration. Now, if you recollect, in the beginning, I had said there are two types of sessions. One is in the classroom session, other is common demonstration. While we do this, so you can see that the preparation is going on over here. While we are doing this, our students are in the classroom. Some of the pictures that you had already seen earlier, that is going on, this is simultaneously going on in the hall. Here you can see the banner. You can see our siphon banner and our B.Ed students ready. Now they are ready with their demonstrations and the interesting labels. You can see how smart they look. Show the labels. Here you can see the labels. we make the labels in such a way that we give them some interesting names, and you can see the banner. Here you can see our banner and our students smartly standing. How smart they look with their siphon jacket. Yes. Next, you can see the smile on the face of the child when they see such demonstrations. You can see them all smiling in the common demonstration when they see such beautiful demonstrations done to them, which they generally don't get to see in their schools. The aerial view, you can see one school was there where I was lucky enough to get the aerial view of the auditorium.